everybody, welcome back to this week's show. You know, it's always about doing something different. And this week we're in Minnesota and we're going to be doing some herd analysis. And I'll tell you, using these thermal drones is no doubt the way to see how your deer herd is looking. And I'll tell you what, I'm always learning, and that's the big thing. I'll tell you, we have got a great group of guys today. I'm going to introduce you to everybody here in a little bit, but I'll tell you something. It is cold, and I'm loving it, and hang on to your heinies. Hey, everybody, before we get started here, we're going to go with Zach over to our farm in Berlin, and he's going to give you guys a quick lesson on what herd analysis is all about.
Watch out for the power line.
Yeah. So you're now we're at about 100 feet. Sometimes when I'm inspecting a deer, I'll bring it down to about this distance.
That is wow.
If it's wounded, if you get this close to a deer, like they should be getting up and walking around and trying to figure out, especially when I come in hot at them, it's even louder. It's like a semi trying to brake stop, right, or engine stop. So
if he doesn't move, you know he's hit hard. He's gonna die. Right.
Yep. So that color red right here is what a color a deer is going to be, but obviously it's just this piece of bark holding heat differently. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so there's a little doe there. You see him?
Yep. How many feet up are you?
I'm 68 feet up. I'm going to turn on the laser rangefinder. That deer is 230 feet away. You see it on the right-hand side there, that little red X on the deer itself. You can see our thermal signature right now, 14 to 35 degrees. So it's getting closer to that, 15 to 20 degree range is still pretty good. That's going to change as we go. It's going to constantly be recalculating as the sun comes out, as the heat changes, and also as at night, as it gets colder. Here you can see that you're not. This is a doe, but you're not going to see antlers, even if they were there. So that's about typically what it is. But it'll still be hard to see an animal. Right. So, like even now looking at that, it can be hard to see that there's a deer there until you get pretty close, and then you're like, okay, well that's a doe. Yeah. So when I find a deer like that, like in this case, I'm gonna mark it. It'll become purple for a doe. Oh, interesting. Right. Okay. So when we're all done, I'll be able to export all these marks out to Onyx Hunt. Seasonal. Some people like to do it pre bow hunting, and then they like to do like a post gun hunting follow up. Yeah. And it helps them understand the trends of what their deer are doing, the population, how well their woods or their marshes are holding the deer throughout the day. Did you see that here? Before I even move on, just so you guys can see, I put it in the upper right hand corner of that green square. Do you see the deer? Oh yeah. Yep. It's hard just because of where you guys are. Yep. But like I can see them right away. So this is a good example too here. You see that red? What it really is it's not a stump, it's a tree root ball. Right there, huh? Right here. It's like a triangle. Oh right here. Yeah, I see it. So that tree fell, and then those balls hold different heat signatures. Oh, that's interesting. As you get into the swamps, you see a lot of that.
Hey, if you guys want to see the full version of what happened at our farm in Berlin, go to our YouTube channel. I hope you guys were going to head over to our farm in Minnesota, and I hope you guys now have an idea what to look for on the screen on doing herd analysis and what these deer look like. Hey, I'll tell you, you know what? When you start dealing with wind chills where they're at almost negative 30 today, it's certainly nice to have a shelter. We've earned the quick fish today, and I'll tell you what, these guys, at least they're warm. Hey, but the drones are not liking that cold weather, are they? No. A few little glitches to start off with, but not bad. And is this the coldest that you've ever flown your drone in?
Absolutely.
Okay. So it's kind of a learning curve for you guys too to see what the limits are on it. Yeah.
Oh, I got a whole bunch of deer moving up here, you see them? Doe. 1, 2, 3. All those. Well, I'm freezing now, so that was 6 doe right there. Sick, because we do a lot of flying, like under 200 feet. I'm at 227 right now.
And usually it doesn't move them, huh?
Not much. I mean, if you get to moving really fast, the props are a lot noisier, but I'm just kind of tooling around right now. Looks like a hole there, don't it?
Yeah, what is
like a den or something?
That's what I'm wondering, if there's dens out.
That kind of looks like a den, I think.
Den in what? Their tracks on it?
Yeah. See them right there?
Yeah. Looks like a big den, though.
Oh, we found some deers. It's a live one. 1 doe.
He's all snuggled up.
2 doe. 3, 4, 5, 6.
Jackpot for those.
Oh, I got a spike. I got a spike, boys. Check her out.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, hell yeah.
No, you understand.
Another pack of dozers. Yep. Dang squirrel.
Woohoo! Nice to have heat. Yes, indeed. Nice when you don't have that wind blowing on you. You know, the conveniences of having a great UTV are very important for any kind of business. It doesn't matter if it's ice fishing, drone deer recovery, or herd analysis, or just out having fun. Hey, if you guys are looking for a new UTV, make sure you check out our good friends at Power Sports in Beaver Dam. They'll treat you good. Hey, we just were with Robert and Devin. I'll tell you what, them guys are doing a fantastic job. They're set up in the quick fish right there, staying nice and warm. But Zach is in the Outbreak 650 here, all by himself. So let's see what he's got going on here too. You know, this is a big piece of property here, and it definitely takes time to do this herd analysis, to do it the right way, and to be able to tell what our deer herd really looks like after the gun season. I'm super excited because, you know what, really a big passion of mine besides fishing all the time is definitely deer hunting, and managing this herd on this piece of property is really important to me. So I'm excited. Let's see what Zach's got going on in here. Oh, Zach's not even here.
Running it at about 30 degrees, 170 feet, should be good. Very careful with voltage drops right now, just due to the cold. You'll notice it's going to go down quite a bit faster. Hopefully you can find a deer pretty quick here. For sake of argument, let's just go to what we normally do, the tint. Seems to really cut down on some noise. Oh, that's a nice black ground. That's really nice for thermal imaging. There's those guys setting up, launching the other side of this. That's pretty cool. Got some hot stuff over there. Must be some Holmes farm power poles. You know, we are pushing the conditions here pretty good. You can see in the thermals that it's -20 as part of the range, some of the spots that it's feeling. That's awesome. So there's a bunch of deer standing there. We're at 196 feet. They have no idea. We're gonna try the iron hot now and see what that looks like. See if that would have been easier to find deer. Yeah, it's really hard to say. That's a lot of noise. But in terms of dots per square inch on the screen, I think maybe that is more. Holtron stands out well. We have a doe. Does are marked purple. There's a doe. I don't know what's going on. There's a buck. So I got a picture of that. Bucks are orange. What do we got here? It's a bed of a deer. Well, that's interesting. Like ledge rock caves. So we're doing this too to help get Larry's feedback on what he thinks works best given he's colorblind. Those holes are hot. Whatever that is kind of interesting. These critters are trying to stay warm. Must have been a bed. Need to really pay attention to the bluffs, you know, what we got going on here. Constantly flying at different altitudes. Here we go. Deer walking underneath me. That's a doe. Another doe. Follow their tracks back. You can literally see all the little footprints. You see them on the screen? That is so cool. Look at those little footprint differences. The deer buried underneath the snow. That's wild. There we go. You're starting to get me worried. Doe. 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 Just a doe. Here we go. Deer everywhere. I'll track them in a second. Let's get these ones. Eating on that thing. A little buck, a little spike. Oh, there's a deer, half buried in snow.
What?
Look at this. But if you look at it from right there, don't those look like big holes?
Yeah, they do. What?
You zoom right in. It's a doe.
Oh, that's a doe. Yep. Oh, yeah.
Here's another one. That one's empty.
Yep.
They like dug it out. Look at that bed right there. Like,
jeez.
that looks a lot like an animal.
Right. Amazing that that heat source is that strong still.
You see that right there?
Yep.
It's got a little sticker.
Oh yeah. Yep.
My God, look at, I mean, look at this. See how red that is?
Yeah.
That's that little spot there, you know what I mean? Like these beds are just ridiculous.
Hey, you know, it's all about really learning the laws, and today we're up in Minnesota here, and you know, laws are a little bit different. What we're doing is we're doing a herd analysis here. We waited till the season was totally over before we came up here and did it. Hey, and Mitch, let's talk a little bit about this. Glad you guys came out. Hey, who do you got with you today?
This is Todd Froberg.
And Todd is the big game management, right?
Yes, big game program coordinator. Yep.
So he's the big dog, right? Let's talk about what really the laws are when it comes to using any kind of thermals in the state of Minnesota.
So in Minnesota, it right now it falls under our radio statute, and that statute doesn't allow them to be used to assist or to take an animal in Minnesota. So right now, as it sits, they're not allowed to be used to locate a deer or to look for an injured deer. They're just not allowed right now. Our statute doesn't allow it.
And as far as today, what we're doing is we're here doing a herd analysis, and this is totally legal. We're not doing anything wrong. We're keeping the drone up high enough. Let's talk a little bit about this. Let's talk about like harassment using a device. What are the laws on that?
So you can't harass, pursue, chase wildlife.
Okay, makes sense.
Obviously, whether it's with a drone or a motor vehicle or anything like that, we have laws in place for that, as most states do. But based on how it was used today, you know, you're high enough, and the operators are and know their machines or their equipment. So those you know, they weren't harassed at all. They didn't even raise their heads in most cases, as we saw.
How do you feel about all this new technology coming in? And how do you think that it's going to change your job?
Well, we've certainly been hearing more about it and talking about it. I was taken aback by just, I guess, the abilities of drones and seeing kind of the demonstration, then also the amount of deer, speaking with the drone operators, of how many deer are being recovered on an annual basis. So
a lot, isn't it?
A lot, yeah.
Yes.
So the utility is definitely going up. So in order for us, I guess, to stay, you know, keep in step with technology, that is sometimes entails changing statutes or changing laws, changing rules. So it's good to be aware of this. So you know, so we can
make adjustments.
Make
right?
adjustments and you know, keep I guess everything ethical.
Mitch, anything else you'd like to say about what's your favorite part of your job? I got to ask you that, right? Because it's not an easy job. Anybody in law enforcement, I'm going to tell you, and you guys know how we feel about law enforcement.
It's across the board, really. I mean, hearing the stories is fun. Catching a guy that's poaching deer is kind of rewarding as well.
Right.
So there's just a lot of different ways it can go, you know, as far as positives of it. I mean, I grew up hunting and fishing my whole life. I can't imagine doing anything else.
Right.
You know, a lot of the guys I talk to can't imagine doing anything else. A lot of the wardens, that's what they've always wanted to do. And I was in enforcement past, but this is definitely, I can't imagine doing a different job. So
that's awesome.
Hard to narrow it to one thing.
Yeah, it is. Hey, Zach, I'll tell you, what did you learn today? Anything about Minnesota in the regulations and stuff? You're usually always up to speed on things, but what was your assumption of everything that happened?
First, I love that you guys came down. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think there's any
thank you
better
guys.
way to move this kind of topic forward than having a conversation. You know, one of the things that I learned talking to Mitch was just how it's currently governed under like cell phone and transmission law, and that's just, at first it sounds odd or different, but it makes sense, like how we got to where we are today, and
right.
You know, how do we look at the next steps? And you know, I was really happy that we were able to show some deer. How do they get in contact with you guys best to try to know the warden in their area and have conversations with them so they can follow the laws?
Sure, we have a CO locator
Okay.
on our website, and you can go in there and pick the area it'll give that CO for that area who's covering it a cell phone number.
Yeah. And I think the last thing for me really is just that these guys are very friendly. Obviously, they came out here today to just have a
If you were doing something wrong, it might be a different story.
But for all operators out there, make sure you reach out and you learn the law of your state first. You work with your wardens and you develop your business model in alignment with FFA and state and federal regulations.
It's almost like the days when you had a Harley and you were waving to the guy on a bike. You see another warrior on the water, you just get a good feel.
First class, all the way from the people that ride them to the people that make them.
They do such a nice job with communication. They'll pick up the phone anytime. It's really almost a friendship.
You could be in any state, and when somebody with a warrior drives by you, you get that honk, that beep. You're truly part of a family, and there's nothing like it.
Introducing Forever Barnwood. Transform your space with the warmth and character of a genuine barnwood look. Forever Barnwood offers over 200 authentic barnwood products. We are commercial and food safe. Our products are available in unlimited quantities while still providing the consistency you need to complete large projects. All of this while still looking like it came out of a 100-year-old barn. Forever Barnwood. Bring the history inside.
I'm Tony at Leroy Meats. We're going to be making some smoked chicken salad today. I've got some chicken that I brined in pickle juice, rubbed them with our Leroy's Smokehouse mesquite seasoning, and I smoked them about 2.5 hours at 225 till they were nice and tender and nice and cooked. We're going to be doing about 2 cups of mayo, a cup of red onion, a cup of celery salt, probably about a 1/4 teaspoon of that. And then just a little dash of hot sauce just to kind of tie in that barbecue flavor from the smoking. You don't want it to be like soaking in the sauce, but you just want a nice little amount of sauce on there to keep everything moist. So I've got a nice brioche bun here with some romaine lettuce. You could use butter lettuce, any kind of crispy green lettuce on there. Put that right on the bottom as a little bed to put your chicken salad on. We got a nice little smoked chicken salad sandwich.
All right, finally found a deer.
You found one?
Yeah,
Let it be a monster.
it's a doe.
Gal. A monster doe?
I might have some cool stuff up here. I'm gonna climb to 300 some feet. Dude, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 doe. This is fun. Look at this. That's how many deer I have right there.
There you go. I see antlers in a shadow. It's a little guy, but that's bigger than the one I found.
Guess you're in the losing. Old homeboy's out chilling.
And the perfect sunlight hit him too.
Hey, Zach, really, I appreciate you guys coming up here today, but we never really got to talk to Devin and talk to Rob about really their involvement and why they're here today. But, these guys are part of your group, and let's talk about, how did you get to meet these guys?
There's a lot of operators popping up, and we needed a way to communicate and work together across the state of Wisconsin. And Devin reached out right away. He was one of the first operators that we signed up into the network. So the Deer Recovery Network allows to enable operators to serve the hunters' need.
Okay.
The demand for the hunters during those peak seasons is just too much.
Well, and speaking of that, Devin, let's talk about what you and Rob did today. You guys were up on the other end of the property, and let's talk a couple things. What got you in to drone recovery, as far as deer recovery with a thermal drone? What made you decide you guys both to go in this direction? And the partner up was a great idea. I don't know, is there many guys that have partners?
It kind of was just joking around, after work one day, and I seen some videos online of guys using thermal drones, started doing some research, and
started driving you crazy, huh?
Yeah, it started driving me crazy, and honestly, it really was something that I was like, that's not really realistic. But as we kind of started talking more, then he started getting more interested, and as I was like, it's just a dream, then he wouldn't let it down. So
And now you're building your own monitor case too, right? Let's talk a little bit about that.
That was another thing that we were kind of searching the market. There's not a lot of great options out there for a heavy-duty external monitor that has high nit and resolution and brightness, and something that has good battery life and also portable.
Hey, Rob, how about you? Anything good to say today?
Yeah, Minnesota's pretty cool.
It's pretty
it's
cool.
Actually really cold right now.
Right, it is cold. Hey, I got to ask you one more question. We were talking last night, you guys came up last night, and we were talking about the amount of deer that you guys go and look for and the amount of deer that are actually still alive. And I asked you, what is the broadhead that you've seen the most problems with?
Yeah, over 70% of the wounded deer that we found that were still alive were shot with Montec G5s. You know, and I don't know what the correlation there was with that, and I've personally not used them or shot them, so I can't say, but I did think those statistics were pretty cool to see in the end, because that's always the great debate. What's the best weapon of choice? What's the best broadhead? Is it fixed blade mechanical? So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Hey, so let's tell everybody at home in your area, and let's tell everybody where your area is that you guys like to do most of your work out of.
Yeah, so we're based in Wild Rose, Wisconsin. So we really serve like Washera County. We do some up in Wapaka County, some over in Portage.
Zach, let's tell them.
So first,
the camera guy is freezing his butt off.
If these areas don't cover where you are in Wisconsin, we do have a network of 35 operators that's constantly growing. So go to Facebook and look for the group for Wisconsin Deer Recovery Drone Operators.
Hey everybody, like we do each and every week, we want to thank all of our military men and women for the great service they have given this country and continue to give this country, along with all of our firefighters and paramedics, and no doubt all of our law enforcement agents. And it is a great day to be alive, and we'll see you guys and gals again next week. Let's go get some heat! We never really got to talk to Devlin and talk to Rob about really what
He's just like, bro, it's cold. Homie's just like, nah, dude, it's cold. Dude, why do I have so many dough?
Look at the camera guy.
But the main thing is...
he's freezing.
You want me to do this sitting? All right, I'm Tony at Leroy Meats. We're gonna be making some smoked chicken salad today.